Why did the airplane get sent to its room? Because it had a bad altitude. Okay, jokes out of the way. Welcome to this ground school explainer. If you're prepping for your PPL ground exam, you already know aerodrome markings can be a massive point of confusion. So let's cut right to the chase and clear it all up so you can ace that test. Kicking things off with runway thresholds and markings. You're lining up on final approach, right? The very first thing you've got to do is visually decode your landing zone. And those markings change entirely depending on the type of runway you're approaching. Precision runways, they're easy. They've got those unmistakable longitudinal stripes that look exactly like a giant zebra crossing. But non-precision runways, that's where they get you on the exam. The markings change based on the landing distance available, or LDA. If you've got over 1,200 meters to work with, you get a solid white line right before the runway number. But if it's a shorter strip, anything under 1,200 meters, you just get the runway number alone, no line. Definitely lock that distinction in your memory bank. Now, what's really cool is how these markings naturally guide your eyes once you actually cross the threshold. Further down the runway, you're going to spot pairs of rectangular blocks. Those are your touchdown zone markings. Keep looking, and you'll see significantly wider rectangular blocks. Those wider ones, that's your aiming point. That is the exact spot you want to visually target during your descent so you can grease that landing perfectly in the touchdown zone. Moving right along to displaced thresholds. We know what a normal runway looks like, but we really need to talk about what happens when a runway has special restrictions. Ground exams absolutely love testing the displaced threshold. By definition, this is a section of pavement that looks just like a runway, but it comes with some strict rules about what you can actually do there. It's a pre-threshold area where you're totally fine to taxi, and you can even start your takeoff roll there, but you are explicitly forbidden from landing on it. No exceptions. So how do you know what you can and can't do? The pavement literally tells you. White arrows? That means you can taxi and take off, just no landing. White crosses? That means absolutely no aircraft movement whatsoever, period. And if you see yellow chevrons, that area is only meant to act as a stopway if an aircraft landing in the opposite direction overshoots. It is completely unfit for normal movement. Keep those three symbols straight and those exam points are in the bag. Which brings us to danger and closed runways. The crucial skill here is instantly recognizing when a runway, or even just a piece of it, is totally off limits. Let's look at how that danger is communicated from the ground up to your cockpit. You've got to pay very close attention to spacing here. If you spot white crosses spaced no more than 300 meters apart along the runway, that specific section is unserviceable. It's unfit for movement. But if you just see a single white cross positioned at the extreme ends of the runway, right over the numbers, that means landing on that runway is highly dangerous. It's a subtle visual difference, but operationally, it's a massive deal for your safety. Building on that, if you see those extreme end crosses paired with a solid white line directly before the runway number, that strip is restricted for emergency use only. Basically, it's telling you, do not land here unless your engine is dead quiet and you literally have no other options. Okay, let's transition over to taxiway signs and intersections. Getting the plane down safely is obviously a big deal, but navigating a complex aerodrome without causing a ground incursion, that's the other half of the battle. Once you're on the ground, surface markings are everything. You've got your standard runway taxi holding position. That's the absolute last place you stop before entering the active runway. You'll probably also see intermediate holding positions, which are just simple dashed lines. But listen up, you need to pay special attention to taxiway edge markings. If you see double-dashed yellow edge lines, they're warning you about a paved shoulder with weak bearing strength. It might look like perfectly good, solid pavement, but it is not meant to support the weight of your aircraft. Roll your tires over that, and you might just find your landing gears sinking right into the tarmac. And this perfectly illustrates the golden rule of aviation signs. Seriously, if you remember just one crucial thing from this whole explainer, make it this. A black background with yellow text means your current location. It tells you exactly where you're sitting right now. A yellow background with black text and arrows, that shows your direction or destination. Black is where you're at, yellow is where you're going. It's that simple. So how do we actually apply that golden rule? When you're rolling up to a standard intersection, just follow a simple 3-step process. First, confirm your current spot using the black sign. Second, scan the yellow signs with arrows to map out your left and right turn options. And finally, check if there's a yellow sign with an upward arrow. That one tells you if the straight-ahead taxiway changes its letter designation after you cross the intersection. See? It's a highly logical system once you know the color codes.
As we wrap up this explainer, remember that being a safe, competent pilot means reading the pavement just as accurately as you read the instruments inside your cockpit.
So I'll leave you with this thought. Next time you're looking down a runway, ask yourself, are you seeing a safe landing zone or displaced thresholds screaming at you to stay away? If this explainer helped clear up aerodrome markings for you, smash that like button and subscribe for more ground school content to help you absolutely crush your PPL exam. Until next time, keep studying and happy flying.